It's been said that Jesus is perfect theology. And one of the things that you see, and we've looked at, is that Jesus revealed the Father. Jesus is the one who exemplifies, manifests, and shows us who the Father is, what the Father is like. In fact, he says, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. And in this is encapsulated that perfect theology. If we're going to know God himself, we have to know it through Jesus. You can start somewhere else, but you can't get there without the lens of Jesus. And that's so fundamentally important. And I want to see, we're going to walk through in the next 2-3 weeks, whatever, in these sessions, is a progression. And we're just going to see something that's leading up to what we're entering as a time when a time of year when Jesus was crucified. So we're going to walk up to that and examine some things that are fundamental to understanding Jesus on the cross and the purpose, the power of the cross itself. We're going to start in John chapter 16, and one verse is verse 32. And I'm going to read it out of the Passion Translation. It's not that different in King James, New King James. But in John 16 and verse 32, he says, "And the time has come when you will all be scattered, and each one of you will go your own way, leaving me alone. Yet I am never alone, for the Father is always with me." So we know that at the time that of the crucifixion and the time how his disciples all abandoned him. Yes, Judas betrayed him, turned him over to the religious leaders who had him crucified. But yet every one of the others left him, denied him, said, "I don't know who he is," ran away, even running out of their clothes. And Jesus is predicting and telling them, you're going to run away and you are going to leave me alone. And there's something in that, even in terms of my relationship with Jesus, all of our relationship, because we go all the way back to the garden, that how Adam and Eve abandoned Father, left God alone, deciding we're going to figure this out on their own fears, their own desires to try to make things work and happen. And it doesn't work. It never has worked. But that's where everything started from. And so Jesus is telling his disciples, y'all are going to abandon me. You're going to leave me alone. But the next part is what's so powerful and fascinating and awesome. He says, "Yet even though you abandon me, I am never alone. And the reason I'm not alone is because my Father is always with me." And this is the beautiful thing. And Jesus reveals this. You could read on through from John 14 through John 17 in this. There's so much in there, and I encourage you to read that very prayerfully and go through that. What Jesus is saying and praying, it's beautiful. But he is making the point that he and the Father are one, that he is in the Father and the Father in him. And he's actually promising in there as well that we will have the same union that they have. So when he says, "I'm never alone because the Father is always with me," it's because Father and Son were in perfect union and oneness. There was not a separation. It wasn't Jesus and the Father some far off in heaven looking on. Jesus and the Father were so united that they were in this together as one. And if you were to explore that and expand that and follow that through, that means that the Father was with Jesus through the whole crucifixion ordeal. And that's a powerful thing to think upon. As we will continue, we're going to look at specifically in very, I don't know how detailed we can get, the reason why Jesus died. And that the Father was with him throughout. Because we see this in John 16:32. The Father, he said, is always with me. I am not alone.